We got Brandon in the building. His directorial debut with I'm Totally Fine. You've wore so many hats. You've directed music videos, you directed TV shows, and I recently got onto Flatbush Misdemeanors this year and figuring out that you directed it, man. Hilarious show, by the way. How does it feel to have your first directorial debut as a feature-length film?
It feels incredible. It's like, I've been making videos with my friends since I was in junior high, and it feels like it's
Mhm.
like a full culmination of finally have something like this out into the world.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm totally fine. It felt like a personal movie. Like it has so many things dealing with grief, loss of a loved one. So I just wanted to know, were those things, did those hit close to home? Were there something personal with you or Jillian or Alicia or anybody involved with this movie?
Yeah, like the answer is the movie came from going into 2020. I thought I was doing a different movie, like the celebrity driven action comedy, like a big movie, and the pandemic took it away. And
Yeah,
obviously, the pandemic took away so much for so many people. And it was really felt like the death of 2020. We all had these plans, these weddings, these professional things that all
yeah,
got taken away. And it was hard for me to deal with it with my sort of anxiety and like it's tough for me to deal with the uncertainty. I try to always like maneuver, and this was like the uncertainty was cranked up to like 11. So I was like,
yeah.
I need to figure out some way to make peace. And I realized once I realized that the year and the pandemic was out of my control, I sort of like chilled out. And it's much like
Mhm.
losing someone. You can't, it's inevitable. And when you lose someone, you can't do anything to change it. You sort of just have to go
Yeah.
through the process and accept. So I thought, what better way to experience that feeling, which feels alien, than with an alien? So then I
Yeah.
went to Alicia waiting table back in film school in Chicago at a restaurant. And
Wow.
we've been friends ever since. She's a crazy talented writer, and she writes on American Dad. Pitched her this idea, and she's experienced loss in her life and resonated with the idea. So we started working on it, and then that's when I happened to see my friend Kyle Newacek, creative Workaholics, director of Workaholics, one of the creators of Workaholics.
Hmm.
He posted a commercial over Zoom in the pandemic. And I was like, I'm about to do one. I was about to do it for Jay Derulo and Samsung, but it
Yeah.
was a whole new world in the pandemic filming. So I wanted to ask him what it was like. And he was telling me, and then I was like, hey, for a movie. And I pitched it to him, and he's like, I want to make that. I was like, we want Jillian, Jillian. And he went to Jillian. Jillian's experienced her own loss. She's talked about in a lot of the interviews that she lost her father 10 years ago, and this really spoke
Mm.
to her. And we asked her, who would you like to play opposite? And she said Natalie Morales. And we're like, oh, wow, if she would do this, it'd be amazing. So Jillian called Natalie, and then we were off to the races. But everyone, from grief, it's in the trailer. Grief is universal. It's so true. Every
Yeah.
single, it's a common denominator between all of us. It doesn't matter where you live in the world, who you are, what language you speak, your job, anything. We all can relate on this thing. So we all brought our own personal experiences to it.
Exactly. Like Jillian's character in the movie, she dealt with uncertainty, like losing her best friend. She didn't know she was going to do that, and driving all the way to this party she was supposed to have with her best friend and celebrate. But then a carbon copy of her, sort of say, alien comes in and she grows attached to that. And by the end of the film, it's kind of like she loses the alien friend, but it helps her cope with the real friend that she actually lost. So I thought that was brilliant to tie that all up at the end of the movie.
Thanks. Yeah, that's what we really wanted. We wanted to be like a cathartic experience for people who've dealt with loss, to sort of see themselves in Jillian's character, but then also dealing with death. As much as it's the common denominator with all of us, it's still very foreign and bizarre. Like we all
Exactly.
have different interpretations of what happens after you die, all these different things. So, like, the alien represents that. She's now learning about something she's never understood before. So, yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah. But what was the relationship between you and Jillian and Natalie as well? Like, I've seen Jillian in like 22 Jump Street where she's hilarious, but this movie kind of caught me off guard in how she went there, like she went to a place where she had to really lose somebody, like she actually did. But it starts off with her sobbing in the car. I'm like, oh, I didn't know it was gonna get serious like this. So, how was the relationship and chemistry? How did y'all get the actors to go there to that place?
You know, the funny thing is when we first wrote the script, we wrote the part of the alien for Jillian because of roles like 22 Jump Street, Office Christmas Party, all these
Yeah.
movies where she plays these like crazy, wild and out characters. So we were like, naturally, we thought of her as the alien. But
Hmm.
she read the script and she called me and she's just like, I love the script, but I'm Vanessa and I resonate with Vanessa. I lost my father. I know what it's like to go through the stages of grief. I really feel I'm reading her. And as a director, for a vulnerable role like this, I need that performer to be willing to put it all out there. And the fact that she
Hmm.
felt comfortable enough to call me and say, I resonate with this character over that character, I knew it was the right
Hmm.
thing to do right away. So, leading up to production, because this was in 2020, like Jillian and I didn't meet till the day we took our first COVID test together.
Wow.
We just zoomed and FaceTimed every day. And we really talked about what does it feel like to lose someone? What does it feel like to have anxiety? What does it feel like to be triggered? And then Natalie, she actually, so we spoke leading up to like July, August, September, and then she went off and directed Plan B for Hulu, a film that
Yeah.
she made. So she went away, made a movie for Hulu, and then she got done with it, and she had 10 days between that movie ending and starting ours. So we didn't
Wow.
have as much time to sort of discuss the character like I did with Jillian, but her and I just we did long Zooms, like 3 4 hour Zooms where we really, really talked about the character and sort of what would it be like to be experiencing everything for the first time and
Yeah.
absorbing everything. It's almost going to a third world country, but I keep saying cranked up to 11 to a whole new extreme.
Hmm.
And we talked about really that, in a movie like this, the alien could just be a gimmick, but we
Yeah.
wanted you to feel for her. We wanted you to go with her emotional arc as well, that the alien starts to become more human and picking up on Vanessa. And by the end of the film, even the way her voice sounds, her decisions become emotional. So we really that's probably the thing we talked about the most was tracking that emotional arc for her character.
Yeah, the whole movie was centered around the human emotion, like the human anatomy and how we feel things and how it may be happy at this moment, but it may be a low for this moment. So I really thought that this movie really did a great job of doing that, showing the human emotion on various scales.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and that's why I went to Alicia because I knew this idea was, so absurd and bizarre, but she has such a knack for taking such absurd ideas and adding deep, deep human emotion and really looking at the human condition in an interesting way.
Yeah. But what were some of the challenges you had during this film? Because you mentioned that y'all had to film during the pandemic, and it was at a time where she had lost her father and you lost somebody. Like, what were the challenges surrounding that?
I mean, Jillian lost her father like 10 years ago. I've lost family over 2 decades ago. So we drew from those experiences. And it was challenging more so just to, I guess it wasn't challenging because I tried to create a space where everyone was comfortable to go there,
Yeah.
and to create that space, it came with a lot of physical production challenges because we were in the pandemic. Because we were in the pandemic, the crew was only like 20 something people, and we were in
Wow.
a bubble. We basically rented 3 homes in Temecula, and we never left those homes. So
Wow.
some of the things you could have to make the set potentially more comfortable or trailers or places to go get in the headspace. Didn't really have that. So I tried to really construct a very light and open place where Jillian could come in and give that sort of performance, and Natalie can come in and give that sort of performance and have the space to figure out those little moments. But coming from music videos and been making videos since I was in junior high, it's like I just sort of took every skill I learned along the way. Plus, I had an incredible mentorship in Kyle Newacek This is my
Mhm.
first movie. Like you said, I've done Flatbush Misdemeanors, I've done
Yeah.
television, but this was a whole other beast. So I sort of took all of my experiences and then Kyle sort of synthesized them through his point of view of making bigger projects and sort of guided me along the way. But all the music videos I do are like short films dressed as music videos. And usually I have a day to do that, not a lot of time with the talent. So I
Mhm.
applied a lot of that sort of filmmaking into the making of this film.
Wow. So moving on from the challenges, what were some of the high moments in shooting this film? Because there was a lot of fun moments. Like my favorite scene was the Papa Roach scene and them just going crazy, and it felt like a music video. Like I could see your direction and how your music video skills translated to a full length film, and scenes like that where it's like, whoa, okay, his music background translated to these certain scenes. So, what was your favorite moment of shooting this film?
I mean, that was one of them because
Yeah.
it was like, and the whole crew that made this movie are people that I've been working with for years and years. Like the cinematographer of this film, a majority of my music videos. The production designer has done a majority of my videos. The editor, the colorist, everyone. So that day on set was really fun because it's also like let's just let loose and have fun. We're literally blasting Papa Roach, and
Yeah.
we knew these moments we wanted to hit. But there was so much. I mean, that was really fun. I also had a lot of fun in the scene with Natalie and Jillian, Jennifer and Vanessa, driving to go get the soda. Then the car breaks down. Like that
Mhm.
whole scene is just like our set piece of the movie, and it was really fun, just them all bopping off each other because,
Yeah.
you know, Vanessa's character is sort of like accepting at that moment, like maybe this isn't in my head, maybe this is real.
Yeah.
And so you get the fun dynamic of she's like believing it, and then the alien's starting to become more like emotionally sentient, and then you have Kyle's character come in as the townie. That was really fun.
Yeah. How much
And
of
with
the
the music video too, Harvey, the fact that Harvey came in as the DJ,
Oh
he was just like he's the only
yeah.
he was just like a shot of arm of comedy. He was so funny. He brought that jacket. That was his jacket.
Wow. Wow, that was hilarious. That was hilarious. That was probably one of the most funniest parts in the movie, honestly. But
Mhm.
how much of the film was improvised? Because I know that it's a lot of comedians in this film. I know you come from shooting comedies as well. So how much it was improvised, how much was really off script?
So I'm a big proponent of like, and I've heard Adam McKay say this, and I've stolen this from him, or I'm giving him credit. He always
Yeah.
says that the script is the contract, and you have to get the contract, and then you can play. And I'm a big proponent of that because you do need to make sure you have those parts. So we would get it as scripted, and then we would play. So there's
Yeah.
like one of my favorites is like when Vanessa's like, talking about her car and she's like, not this one, it's electric. And Jennifer goes, Oogie Woogie. That was Jennifer's favorite wedding song. That
Yeah.
was an improv from Natalie. The other thing too of like this project came together very fast. Like we started in July of 2020 developing it and we shot it in December. So we
Mhm.
didn't have the usual like year to 2 years to tweak the script. So Alicia was on set every day. Kyle was on set every day. Obviously, Natalie and Jillian. So every breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we would all huddle and be like, "What did we learn today? Let's
Yeah.
tweak the script. Let's look
Mhm.
at what we learned because we didn't get to do a table read. We didn't get to do a chemistry read. We didn't get to do
Yeah.
all these things. So we were, which could be very scary. But I'm so thankful because it didn't allow us too much time to overthink. We had to sit down and be like, wow, that's what it felt like Jennifer and Vanessa met for the first time. That's
Mhm.
how it felt. Now, what does that do for the next scene? And then we would augment.
Yeah. So moving on from I'm Totally Fine, what is your dream film? Like if you could have like any actors, any writers, like any genre of film, what is your dream film to make?
I wish I had like a definitive answer. I'm so all over the place. Like again, prior to I'm Totally Fine, my first movie was going to be like a big action comedy starring a celebrity musician, and
Yeah.
it was going to be like John Wick and the Raid meets like a stoner comedy. So it was going to be very different. And like, one of my favorite films of all time is the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So like I'm all
Ooh,
over the map. I
yeah.
just like movies that really commit to whatever they're doing, whether it's silly, stupid, or scary. They
Yeah.
really commit, or sincere, like this movie. So, I want to make a slasher film. I want to make a big fun comedy. I want to make another very sincere art film. So I wish I had that like one answer. I
Yeah.
just I want to explore so many things. I want to make a drama about cults one day. Like there's so much I want to do. Hopefully I can do.
Yeah, I feel you. I like any type of genre, so it's just hard for me to choose like which favorite genre of movie that I like as well. So we're gonna end this off with some rapid fire. You ready?
Hmm.
Favorite film director?
That's another one where I can't give a single person. You know what I mean?
It's too
Like I've
many.
been influenced from everyone, from John Carpenter to John Hughes. Like
Yeah,
I've been very, very from Francis Ford Coppola to Sophia Coppola. Like it's really hard for me to put it on one single human.
yeah. Favorite movie?
That's another one, dude. That's
Name your
hard for
top.
me
Name your
because like
top five at least.
I'll just I mean, I really, really like Wet Hot American Summer. I love the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think the two of those right there, like succinct, sort of sum me up. Also, Last Action Hero is one of my favorite films of all time.
Hmm.
Um, I loved kids growing up. Um, yeah, the favorite is really hard for me because even my musical taste is all over this place. Are
Yeah, I
you
was
gonna
getting
ask
ready
me
to
my
ask.
favorite band next or my favorite music?
Yeah, I was going to ask you what was your favorite band because I already know you played in a band in high school and that your band name was still Adored based off of Donnie Darko. So I was thinking you were gonna mention Donnie
Yes.
Darko at some point during this interview, but what is your favorite
I
band?
should give Donnie Darko its flowers because Donnie Darko
Yeah,
was a movie that was very important to me in high school. It was one of those experiences where you're just like, I haven't seen anything like this before. And yeah, we named
exactly.
our band after the scene with Drew Barrymore and Cellar Door.
Yeah. But what's your favorite? I was gonna ask, what was your favorite genre of movies? Top five or top three favorite genre of movies?
Genre movie?
Yeah, genres like horror,
See, I
comedy.
like no, see, like the thing that I loved is like the blend. Like my movie is
Oh
like a
yeah,
sci-fi dramedy. It's gonna make you laugh, it's gonna make you cry. So I like things that just break convention. Even so much so, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre feels like a semi slasher, but it's also a psychological thriller. I just like things that like take its own sort of path.
yeah. So, what's your favorite project that you directed so far in your whole entire career?
I think I'm totally fine. I'm so proud of this movie because it feels like a culmination of everything I've ever done led up to this.
Yeah,
There's like I see every every music video, commercial, television show, sketch I made in high school. Like I see parts of it throughout the whole movie.
yeah. I really like that. Any last words for any creative, anybody trying to get into the film industry? Any directorial advice? Like any
Do
last
what
words for
this
them?
guy's doing wherever you are on the screen. Do what
Yeah,
he's doing and just go out there and make stuff. It be okay to fail. It's scary to fail, but
yeah,
put stuff out there and just keep going. I mean, it's really hard to be told no
yeah,
all the time, but every no leads to a yes. I always
yeah,
read Michael Jordan quotes when I'm feeling down, like how many shots he's missed, but how many he's made. So just
yeah,
like get with get a camera and make something. And again, I look to you. Like I'm on TikTok and I look at content that's coming out because I think about when I was in college, YouTube was just starting. And my
yeah,
friends and I were making YouTube videos. So like I look at this as a platform. So when I was looking at people who I wanted to see our film, I find creators like you who are out there just making stuff,
yeah.
and have a clear voice. And I guess that's it. Make content and figure out your voice and your point of view.
Ooh, I like that. And thank you for that. Thank you for that. That's really encouraging, man. So, yeah, one more question. What's an idea for your next film? Where are you thinking? Where are you planning? Like what's the idea for the next film?
So so the next film I have two that I'm sort of hoping go, and they're very different than I'm totally fine. But I think in the through line of all my projects, I hope you can always feel like deep heart. no matter how absurd something is, like big comedy, silly sci-fi dramedy, there's always like a through line, a big heart. And then I have a TV show based on a music video I made that I really hope, really, really hope happens.
Ooh. Can't wait to see all of that. Can't wait to see your next film. I'll definitely be watching that. But it was nice talking to you, Brandon. Y'all can see I'm totally fine out in select theaters, on streaming platforms, and it's great talking to you, Brandon.
Yeah, man, this was awesome. Thank you. And I got to give a huge shout out to Kevin Isso and Dan Perlman of Flatbush Misdemeanors because it's all their genius. I came in and
Yeah.
made it look pretty, but those guys, the two of them, it's all them.
They really did. They really did. But nice talking to you, Brandon. Hopefully we could chat again on your next film so we could do that. But
Yeah.
anyways, nice talking to you. Have a nice day.
See ya.
Peace.
Do what
Yeah.
he's doing and just go out there and make stuff. Um, it be okay to fail. It's scary to fail, but
Yeah.
put stuff out there and just keep going.